Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's first ever DLC just dropped, and it has everyone asking the same question. Is this game finally fixed? Is it time for Scarlet and Violet to be free from rampant glitches, constant performance issues, and just have a better experience for all players around the world? No. Actually, the majority of those things are just straight up worse now. But that doesn't mean it's all bad. In fact, a lot of the great things about Scarlet and Violet only got better, and in this video, I spent 100+ hours in the new Kitakami region to show you all the good there is to find here too. And as always, if you know me at all, that means there will probably be a lot of shiny Pokemon. This is the story of a shiny hunter's journey in the Teal Mask. I'm gonna do my best to refrain from spoiling too much of the main story in the DLC, but I will be showing some of the new Pokemon and forms released, like this guy. This is Poltergeist. He's basically just a matcha tea version of Sinistea, and if you know anything about Sinistea, you probably wouldn't be surprised to hear that this little dude has an even rarer artisan form, only noted by this tiny little square stamp here on the bottom, around 20 times rarer than the counterfeit form. I definitely don't think I'll have the time to shiny hunt something this rare in my first ever DLC video, unless... We'll talk about that a little later. For now, I had just arrived in the new region, met some crazy-haired but cool-looking siblings who get really angry at people they just met, and was off to see what the DLC had in store for me. Well, actually, that's kind of a lie. I didn't even continue the main story at all. I just ran around mindlessly for half the day until I found this guy. Oh, baby. My first shiny of the DLC, a Spoink, bouncing alone almost poetically on the side of a cliff. I will say I didn't know this is what shiny Spoink looked like until a year or two ago, and it's actually really cool. And of course I caught him in a luxury ball because, let's be honest, he's classy like that. All right, shiny Pokemon acquired, day one. Pretty lucky. I'm gonna cool it down now and see what type of fun new areas there are around here and just kind of what the story has to wait, what the?
What? What?
Hello?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Well, I've always wanted a blue Yanma, I guess. He looks extra buggy in Scarlet and Violet textures now, and I guess I have 2 shiny Pokemon for my team before I even know what's going on with the DLC? Okay. So you know how I said they didn't fix many of the performance issues or glitches in the DLC? Well, normally in Scarlet and Violet, I just try to ignore it, but it's times like these, just a few seconds after finding 2 shinies, that I really just start to question everything. My game froze, and I hadn't saved yet. At this moment, I was just saying my goodbyes to Boink the Spoink and the Yanma. They were so young. They didn't deserve it. But then everything went back to normal. What the heck was that? So I saved after that. And I would highly recommend saving consistently through your DLC playthroughs because this is not an uncommon occurrence. But anyway, I made it back to the Pokemon Center for the first time and asked the nice lady at the desk to, I asked her to, so, you like Yanma? I mentioned there were new forms and Pokemon released this DLC, and one other special one I wanted to get my hands on was this guy, Diplin, an evolution of Applin, and the shiny for this guy is actually really good, but instead of just showing you a picture, why don't I just go catch one? Now remember, I went into this pretty blind, so I don't know if I'm missing some top secret apple shiny hunting method here, but all I knew in this moment was lots of apple trees probably equals lots of apple Pokemon. So I cooked up a dragon encounter sandwich and was off on my first real shiny hunt of the DLC, looking for a green apple on a farm of apple trees. Just doing some honest work. You can't go wrong with some honest work every now and then. This hunting method was actually really fun. I was cranking my neck like 90 degrees, turbo gamer neck, to check every single piece of fruit on every single tree just to see if one was green. There were also a lot of moments like this where I swear there was a shiny, only for it to just be a perfectly placed, random bright green leaf. That was cool. And probably on purpose. And the cherry on top for this hunt actually had nothing to do with the Applin itself, but the fact that there was also an Ekans outbreak in the middle of the field of apple trees. So in a way, I was shiny hunting for 2 Pokemon at the same time. However, my luck did not continue. It took me way longer than it should have to see even a glimpse of a different colored Pokemon. But eventually... Oh!
Huh?
What? You going?
I mean, I guess if you squint, it kind of looks like an apple. I will say one thing Scarlet and Violet did right was the Pokemon models. Like, just look at this guy slithering around. Move, other Ekans! He's glitching out! He's gone. It was really nice to finally see another shiny again, and honestly, Ekans is a pretty cool one too. I'm happy with that. Anyway, after coming across thousands of apple trees and apple cult meetings with no Granny Smith in sight, I started to think of other options. I mean, I had never seen an Applin outbreak before, and I was pretty sure that they didn't exist, but I wasn't positive where else I could even hunt for them. But then I remembered something. I heard that going to Lag Tree Thicket is actually another way to find the Applins. I'm gonna try.
Oh.
Like on the trees. Oh, wait. Wait, what? There's an Applin outbreak right here. Oh. Wait,
what?
I'm not kidding, I just went over and saw an Applin outbreak, randomly. The first Applin outbreak I'd ever seen in my life, conveniently right when I wanted an Applin, with no resets required. Some would call it fate, or just plain luck. But me, that's pure skill right there, baby. So yeah, I terrorized this apple outbreak for a long while and eventually found this little fella.
Challenge as a group, invite friends with link code.
Give me that link code. Wait,
Oh, I got one.
Whoa. That's so bright.
Oh my god, you're eating.
We're having apples tonight, boys. Don't worry, I was just excited we did not eat the apple. A great shiny, honestly, and the first time I'd ever gotten one myself. I wanted to record some scenic shots with the camera, but the DLC took away the option to remove the HUD and camera outlines for some reason, but hey, at least they added a low-quality music selector, so now you guys can get great scenes like this. But this green won't last long. In fact, if you go down here to this little shack, southeast side of the map, you'll find a shelf of syrupy apples for sale. Use one of those on your Applin, and the first of 2 new shiny forms I was after was here. It took me way longer than anticipated, and out of the 2 new Kitakami forms I wanted to shiny hunt, well, this was supposed to be the easy one, by a lot. But before I hunker down for the big hunt, let me show you a really unique element of this DLC that can get anyone a marked shiny Pokemon for themselves. And no, it's not just a handout. It's a shiny that comes as a reward for beating the hardest difficulty of a new ogre-themed minigame. And I don't mean hard as in like Nintendo game hard. I mean like actually kinda hard. And what makes this minigame particularly special is you can play it as a group. Meaning I can bring in my good friends and veteran shiny quiz takers, Toast and Mimic, to help me. This is the Ogre Oustin Shiny Hunt. Basically, all you have to do for this minigame is collect the required number of colored berries and deposit them into these baskets. In order to get these berries, you need to ride around and pop the respectively colored ogre balloon things. Seems pretty easy, right? Well, it was until the levels kept going up, and the difficulty kept going up, and we were required to collect hundreds of berries at a time in just a few minutes, all while being limited to only a few dozen berries in our bag at a time. Now that's not all. The entire time you're collecting these berries, Pokemon will progressively start to run towards your basket. And if you don't scare them away, then...
Oh my god, there's Snorlax is here.
Oh, they eat everything. And yeah, it can get pretty chaotic at the higher difficulties, and you definitely need a good strategy to beat it.
And Snorlax is eating the reds.
I didn't even see him. Where did he come from?
No! But the real challenge is managing to do all of that at 10 FPS. I am lagging so bad.
This is awful.
I'm at 3, 2,
I'm already starting.
Yeah.
You're started already?
Yep.
Look, the performance issues really do not help here, but regardless, we found a strategy that actually worked. Here's what we did. First, you want to take advantage of when the rounds change. After completing an easier round, make sure to run really far away from the center so you can chart a clean path backwards to the baskets, landing perfectly at home base when your bag gets full. This also leaves some of the closer balloons unpopped and ready to go back to instantly after the first cycle of berries. This makes it a lot easier to go and grab what you still need and not have to ride off into Narnia to go collect a few random green berries. Also, make sure after your first round of berries, you leave someone at the baskets to defend off the approaching Pokemon. Just maybe make sure they're actually watching.
Wait.
I got one blue.
Red.
Oh, it's on it.
He just took 6 reds. I wasn't looking, sorry.
Eventually, you'll reach stage 10 of the hard difficulty, and after barely squeaking
One
by,
red.
we completed it.
Yay!
Oh yeah! And the reward? A shiny marked Munchlax. A pretty cool prize considering you genuinely have to work for this. Wait, Toast, Mimic, before you leave, you guys want to shoot each other with tanks really quick, or?
Yes, actually, I've been wanting to severely injure Toast for some time now.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's possible now thanks to this video's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made. There are literally thousands of different tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships that you can drive around and blow stuff up with in different PvP battles. They're also running a really cool anime-themed event right now with some skins from different characters and shows that you can download for free and make each vehicle look like a shiny version of itself.
That's it. That tank, that pink tank right there,
That's the one I'm gonna run over Toast with.
What is up with you today?
But after blowing up my friends for a while, I came to really start to enjoy the controls for this game. I mean, I'm just on mouse and keyboard, but it feels really smooth and fluid. And I mean, the game just looks incredible too. Go check out War Thunder for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox using my link in the pinned comment and get yourself a huge bonus pack that includes a premium account and I'm not even joking about this one. You get an anime-themed Dakimakura for your own vehicle.
Oh
my
my god.
Toast, that looks so perfect for you.
That's toxic. Okay, but I would use that though. I would actually put that on my tank, like for real.
I spent a lot more time exploring the different areas of the DLC and ended up finding one of the first shiny Pokemon I'd ever hunted for back in Sun and Moon, Jangmo.
I got one.
And this shiny definitely shows the power of the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon models because holy cow, this thing looks so good. Like, it actually looks good. In fact, the majority of the shinies I found look really, really nice in this game. Don't know if I'd be able to say that about some of the other things I found though. At this point, I decided to actually finish up a lot of the story of the Teal Mask, and while I'm not gonna spoil any major plot points, I will say the characters and Pokemon you meet are definitely interesting. There were also a lot of just unintentionally hilarious parts throughout the story, like the moment Carmine shows you the crystal pool on the top of this mountain, except the cutscene just completely overheats the Nintendo Switch and just starts chugging at 5 FPS, all while Carmine is saying, "Bet you didn't expect it to be so pretty, huh?" Yeah, that's some pristine irony. But the one absolute gem of this DLC is without a doubt the new legendary Pokemon Ogerpon. She might just be the most lovable legendary I've encountered in a story, and I was not ready at all to be backhanded by this amount of cuteness. S tier Pokemon, and almost all of my regrets for buying this DLC went out the window after seeing her story. But she's still shiny locked, and I am immensely disappointed I couldn't spend hundreds more hours hunting her. Speaking of legendary Pokemon, this Teal Mask update allows even more legendaries to be brought into the world of Scarlet and Violet through Pokemon Home. So naturally, I brought in my shiny Darkrai into the village to terrify all the children.
How are you not scared?
And my shiny Shaman who, despite how hard she tries, still cannot figure out how to get to the flowers by herself. You can do it. Sure is quiet. Do you not see what's behind you? This has to be making a ton of noise. Hey, it's me again. Could you take a quick look at my dog? I'm not sure if there's anything more out of place than this right now. How does nobody care? After giggling to myself for like an hour straight, I decided to refocus back up on my main goal, Poltergeist. But I had one more thing to prepare, and thankfully the new DLC helps out a lot in preparation for hunts. If you're a shiny hunter or you just like to boost the rates of things like typing encounters, marks, etc., then you're no stranger to the Herba Mystica. I don't use them a lot because I enjoy making things harder on myself for some reason that I still haven't figured out yet. But my point is I don't usually have a lot of Herba Mystica on me at any given time, and they're really useful. And if I was gonna take on the shiny artisan Poltergeist hunt, well, that's already hard enough, so I needed all the help I could get for this hunt. You can always go run around and do raid dens and hope to get a rare drop or two of them there, but I don't know, I don't really think raids are that fun in Scarlet and Violet, and I had actually heard about an even easier way to get Herba Mystica after completing the DLC. 10 Herba Mystica in total to be exact, and it was really fast and basically free. Let me explain. You see this guy? He really wants you to show him some picnic tablecloths. Don't ask, just go bring the man some tablecloth, trust me. He's located right around here behind the festival area. There are 18 total tablecloths you need to get. Once you bring him all of them, boom, 10 Herba Mystica. But the best part? You just have to run to a store and buy them. They aren't too expensive either, and if you're like me, you have tons of currency saved up for literally no reason at all. There's 5 from this store in Cascarrafa, 7 from this store in Mesa Goza, and 5 from this store in Levincia. And after you buy all of them, you bring all 18 back and wait. Hold on a second. At this point, I had heard all you had to do was go buy tablecloths, and then you go get Herba Mystica. Where was the last tablecloth? Well, the last one is a prize. A prize for completing the final level of the Olive Roll minigame in Cortando. You know, the goofy puzzle you have to complete for the bug gym? Well, this goofy puzzle happened to be one of the most traumatizing experiences in Pokemon game history I have ever had. To keep it simple, you need to hit this bouncy olive thing across this maze of walls into this basket. And there's a time limit. So I went in thinking nothing of it. I mean, this is a children's game, you know, how hard could this be? That is until I realized that the incredibly unpredictable physics of this olive were making this a lot harder than I thought. Couple that with the fact that the controls in this game are pretty clunky as well, and oh my god, I'm getting mad. What am I doing? And by the way, if the olive falls off the map, it resets you. Wonderful. If you fall off the map, it resets you. And the timer, it just keeps on ticking, baby. I kept failing, so I kept resetting the timer. I mean, I'm not gonna get some terrible time, right? I'll reset it until I get it right. I don't wanna admit how long it took me to put this olive into this basket. But let me just say, it would bring shame to me and the generations that may come after.
No!
What? Oh my God, please.
Yes!
But I didn't. That tablecloth
Oh my God.
was mine. And with a speedy time of 2 minutes and 48 seconds, all that's left now is to collect my prize and... I didn't get the tablecloth. In order to get the final prize, you need a time of 2 minutes and 30 seconds or less. You know, I already really hate olives, but I think this pushes them to the top. Oh my God. Please. I finished it. I don't ever want to talk about this again. I finished it. I got the freaking tablecloth. That's it. I should have just done the rates. I truly hope you guys have a better time than me getting these Herba Mystica. All right, the story for the DLC was complete. The Herba Mystica were eventually acquired, and there was only one shiny target left, Shiny Artisan Poltergeist. Was it even reasonable to hunt for something like this? I mean, back in the day, Shiny Authentic Sinistea was such a ridiculous hunt, most people didn't even attempt it. But with new methods, it became not so bad. Were there methods like that to be found with Poltergeist? The answer is yes. And those methods might even be a little too good. Let's talk tea. Now, if you wanted to, you could just run around these bamboo forest areas and hunt for Poltergeist normally, and that's what I tried to do for a while. But with the majority of them being counterfeit form, it just didn't seem like the way to go about it. But then I heard about people seeing outbreaks of Poltergeist on their maps. Okay, a way to boost shiny odds, great. But outbreaks can't spawn artisan forms, only counterfeit. Right? Well, that's what I originally thought until I saw this on my map. A question mark outbreak. That was weird. I thought I had seen all the Pokemon in this area already. What could I be missing? So as I went over to see what Pokemon I had missed registering to my Pokédex, I was very surprised to see that it was Poltergeist. I mean, I had definitely already caught one before, and then it hit me. This is an outbreak of Artisan Poltergeist.
Oh.
Every single one of them.
I see it.
This is an absolutely insane outbreak to get, and frankly, I'm not even sure if this was intended, because you'd think something like this should be really rare, but then again, I'm not sure how rare the Artisan outbreak itself is. But all I know is mine was right here in this area. And if you want an outbreak yourself, your best bet is to stand around this area, use a ghost or grass encounter power sandwich, and start swapping your data around to change the time and reset the outbreaks. I just went back a few minutes each time to change my outbreaks and eventually managed to find this one. It was late at night. I had been grinding all day, every day, since the DLC released, and I really should have just gone to sleep. But miss out on an outbreak like this? No way. I stayed up all night running in this exact circle, squinting harder than ever before at each individual Poltergeist, looking for even the slightest hint of green. It was rough. For an outbreak standard, I was really unlucky. I considered even that maybe it was bugged, or that they even shiny locked this too. That is until...
Oh, I see.
I got a shiny.
No,
This is a
Really?
shiny. Yes. This is actually a shiny. Oh my God, the whole crew's here watching. It was here. The shiny Poltergeist. And just to make sure, just gonna look right under here. Can't tell.
It is.
Oh, it is, for sure.
Oh my gosh.
It was Artisan 2. I genuinely felt so accomplished after finding this little guy, and while I do really wish it had the same novelty and rarity as the original Authentic Sinistea and Sword and Shield, it was still such an exciting hunt to go for. And well, in classic Nokimon fashion, I once again forgot that the teacup Pokemon know the move Memento. So my first ever shiny Artisan Poltergeist died.
Oh my God, I completely forgot.
That's why you save the game. And after catching him in a cute little nest ball, I shut off my Switch, smiled, and went to bed happy, free from my unhealthy gaming lifestyle at last. Nah, I'm just kidding. I stayed up and kept hunting for another one. Look, here it is. I mean, if the outbreak is still here, why not just get both? Aha. If you told me I'd be having a tea party with a bunch of shiny authentic teacups only a week after the release of the newest DLC, I would not have believed you. But here we are. I also spent hours getting the perfect picnic picture for my Twitter, and it might just be one of my favorite Pokemon pictures of all time. Go follow my Twitter. But despite all the downsides, I still really enjoyed my time in the Kitakami region. But we're not done here yet. Throughout my DLC adventures, I was also scoping out each and every area for future shiny hunting targets and challenges, and now that I think about it, this map sure seems like an easy place to get locked into, huh? Whatever. As always, guys, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. And big thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring the first Scarlet and Violet DLC video. If you're interested in checking out a new free-to-play PvP game or just want to blow up your friends with a tank, be sure to use my links below and get yourself all the cool premium rewards that go alongside it too. Ogrepon will now be directing you to your next YouTube video. Oh, and subscribe. Okay, bye.